Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Lord Nod at the site of TI3. With us is the big man, the big kahuna. This is Mr. Ayesee. Guys, you have to go ahead and understand. I have got chills. I've got nerd chills all over. This is the guy I've been looking to go ahead and have a chat for a very long time. Personal idol of mine, excellent casting, excellent presence. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Nod Nod.
My pleasure, my friend. Great to be here. Love your energy and enthusiasm. Give me lessons.
No, come on. No. You guys have to go ahead and see. He's got some really good games on board. If you guys did not see some of the games, you have to go ahead and check them out. The world record game, the hook game. I just played literally, everyone's just calling it the hook game, right? So this is the hook game, which is there, all three of them, all under your records. How you've been enjoying TI3? What's the experience been like? Tell us more.
Well, this is my second international. I was lucky enough to have been invited last year, and really, last year was perfect. Like, you came away from it and said, this is perfect. It's just going to be easy to replicate. It's going to be perfect forever. Valve made perfect better. They do what they do. You know, they polished it up. They've made everything more enjoyable, not just for the casters, not just for the staff, but especially for the fans, the viewers. They give all of us our jobs. You know, without them, none of us are here. But yeah, I mean, it's just everything has gone up a notch. Everyone is coming away from this knowing it's a legendary experience and truly historic. The biggest prize pool for a single event in the history of the entire industry, and I get to be a part of it. So, I mean, as much fun, as much excitement as there is, I'm extremely humbled. And that's the number one feeling I have. And especially getting to meet all the people. You know, when I go out and walk around, I get stopped every 5 feet. But it's important to me to be able to talk to those people because, again, without them, I'm not here. I owe the community so much. And to have the chance to give back to them on stage what they give to me, that electricity, that enthusiasm. And as you said, I kind of got lucky in the games. Let's be real. I got the longest series in the history of competitive Dota. I got 2 Dindy Pudge games, and then I just finished the upper bracket finals, NODWIN Alliance. I couldn't ask for more. It's been a truly magical experience.
It has been, and it's been phenomenal because, guys, let's not go belittle what he just said. Let me just go ahead and put this in context. When you go to a big sporting event, I don't know, soccer, football, cricket, I don't know, basketball, you know, everyone's just, the players are in there, but they'll not really talk to you. They'll maybe talk to you for 3 seconds, and right? All they sign one thing which is there. Or you'll be lucky to find a person who's nice to you. Here, everyone's nice. We're even nice to people who are ushers, right? So we've had that usher who's saying, I've never found better people than this, which is there. So this truly is wow. It's a great experience.
Well, you really hit on it. Gamers as a whole, I mean, let's be honest, there's a lot of flaming, there's a lot of, you know, ugliness that comes along with being on the internet. But really when it comes down to it, gamers, they feel the tangibility of the community. They feel that bind. We all are here for one reason, to share a passion, a love, to share in history, to share in each other even. And especially a game like Dota, so inherently community-centric. You have 5 players to a team, 2 teams. To have one game of Dota takes 10 people, and many times those 10 people learn to be friends no matter who wins or loses. It's just something so unique to our industry, to our entire little corner of the internet. And it really does show itself at these events. Like you said, no one meets a stranger at an event like this. It doesn't matter. I've met so many people who come up to me in a big group and say, hey, AC, we just want to say hi. You know, I always ask them, hey, where are you from, where you're from? And I can't tell you how many times. It'll be like 3 packs of 3 friends that didn't know each other at all. It's like, yeah, I came with these 2 guys and I met these other 6 dudes while I was here. Now we hang out all week. That is something you don't get. And as much as I love traditional sports, you know, I worked in other media, I worked in radio, etc. You don't go to like a Seattle Mariners game and then come out with 6 new friends. And more to the point, even if you do make 6 friends, usually it's for one night because you got drunk at the bar. You know, that kind of thing. But with this, these guys will stay in contact no matter where they are in the world because they share that bond. They love gaming, they love Dota, and all of us, you can just feel it. It radiates out from the crowd. Everyone just wants to be a part of the event and part of each other, and that's really what makes things so special.
And it's competitive in there, but, you know, as you said, it's the 6 people you go ahead and get drunk and come out with it.
Right.
Or you don't, you just go ahead and make great friends. But what's the fun part, AC, is the 6 friends you make. And let's say you're Alliance and you're Navi. 3 of them will be Alliance fans and 3 of them will be Navi fans,
Exactly.
right? And they'll be like, it's okay. We had a great game. And we have friends, and we love our team. Exactly. But that doesn't mean we can't be friends.
Exactly. No, exactly. Like you said, it really is anyone who competes at any level. And, you know, it's so easy. It's like anyone who's played, even if it was just like grade school or middle school, played, you know, Pop Warner sports or whatever, you know how valuable, how unbelievably valuable that competitive edge can be in bringing people together. It's why it is, you know, the whole team building exercise, all this nonsense. But it's so much more than that. You develop a mutual respect for people. And like you said, it doesn't matter if you're an Alliance fan fan or an AV fan, if you're in there yelling at the top of your lungs, even if it's for the opposite team, there might be, you know, a little bit of joking back and forth, a little bit of, you know, smack talk, but that's beside the point. What matters is the same passion and enthusiasm is present in everyone at this event. And I can only imagine, like, I've met so many people since I've been here, literally hundreds, if not 1,000 or more. And, you know, I don't even get to spend that much time out there. So most of these people, I'm sure, are going to come away with not just an amazing experience that they'll remember for the rest of their lives, but probably people that'll be a big part of their lives as well. Yeah,
well, guys, you heard it from the big guy. Ayesee is right. Now I'm going to go and get a little deeper into what you do now. It's the profession of casting. How important do you think, I know it's kind of a loaded question, but how important do you think is casting right now and making the game go from just the one person or just one person to a community? How important is that right now?
This goes for all esports. Casters are not just, you know, necessary doesn't really capture it. Casters very often are the gateway that people have to getting into the competitive scene. Like, here's an example. One of the most beloved players on the planet in Dindy. When you watch Dindy play, he has a personality that translates out from his hero. He's an amazing, high-flying playmaker. He takes a lot of risks and all that. But to be able to really appreciate that, you have to already know a decent amount of Dota. To get to where you know his name and his face, let alone all of the other players on all of the other teams, that takes time. So what's very important is that there's a gateway for players who maybe have just played 10 games of Dota, but they know already they're in love with it. So where do they go to find that gateway? Very often, it's us. That's our job. It's what we serve as. We're the first point of contact. We're a personality, and we all offer something different. So some people may want nothing, but they want to take a bookworm approach to it, where they just want to learn as much about the fine details as quickly as possible. Some people, I know many people who don't play Dota anymore, who played and, you know, for whatever reasons, maybe they got married or had kids, they don't have time, but they will tune in for the international, and those are the kind of people that I tend to appeal to. You know, I have a much more traditional experience, and I tend to appeal, believe it or not, to a lot of older people, a lot of the older demographic. I can't tell you since being here how many 30, 40, 50-year-olds have come up and said, hey, I'm here because X, maybe their kid brought them here, or maybe they're just, even people working the event, and they'll say, you know what, I don't know what the hell's going on, but I had so much fun watching because it sounded like I was watching ESPN, you know, and that's the best compliment I could ever receive. But yeah, it's that kind of thing. We're that first point of contact, and then after that, there's so much involved in the community, the teams, the players, even the managers. Some managers have some cult followings and such, and it just becomes this huge, you honestly can't encapsulate it. You simply can't. It's so big, and that's what makes it so addictive and so easy to fall in love with.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, I don't want to say we make stars, but we do make people connect with stars. Yes. And I think that's the beauty and the joy of all of it. So when you start casting a game, and you've now played, you obviously need to go ahead and know the game, but when you start casting games, is the game just about the game, or is it about the characters behind the game?
It's both. I mean, obviously, it's always going to be about the nuts and bolts. I mean, at the end of the day, it is still Dota. But what creates the passion? What gets people standing up in their seats? What makes people fly? I've met people who flew here from New Zealand. I've met people who flew here from, what was the other?
India.
Exactly. From Japan. You know, what makes these people want to be a part of this electric atmosphere is not just the game itself, but that's where it starts. But like you said, it's the storylines. It's the players. Who are they? They know, you know, they have a favorite player. They just have someone they just want to meet one time just to say they met him. They get so drawn into the personal drama and the personal investment of these players because they give so much to us. They give and when I say to us, I don't just mean the viewers, to the casters too. I'm not here if it's not for the enthusiasm of the players. We all owe them so very much. But yeah, like you said, it's a combination of the two. But when it comes down to the magic of an event like this, so much is based on the personality of the players and based on the storylines and all of the things that just draw us in as a whole.
I think so too. You've hit the nail on the head. Now, probably one of the last three questions. The third last one is, we're in a stadium. We're in an orchestra, right? Yeah. We were in a place which is called the
Benaroya Hall.
Right? And it's the home of the Seattle Symphony.
Right.
Right? So how much is this contributing to the entire razzmatazz of everything?
Oh, it's definitely a factor. I mean, when you walk in, and especially it's the juxtaposition of your expectations. This is a gorgeous hall. Everything about this place is beautiful. The acoustics are well tuned. Everything's polished. The staff is utterly amazing. I mean, these are people who are used to serving, you know, the upper crust and all this. But then down on the corner this week, there's actually one just down below us. There's a picture of Vengeful Spirit that's hanging on a street post. You know, that kind of thing. So it's the juxtaposition of these two things where you come here and you realize realize, wow, gaming has reached this level. You know, obviously Valve's the driving force behind that, but you walk in, you see all of this beauty, all of this glamour, and then you walk into the main hall and you see a huge screen with Dota on it. It is so much. It really.
Goosebumps,
Oh
right?
no, it does. It absolutely does. It's the kind of thing. Like for me personally, as a caster, it's humbling. When I walk in and I see this, I just feel. And I've said this actually since last year. I had the same experience. You just wake up in the moment. It's like, I'm actually here. This is actually happening, and more to the point, I'm a part of this. Exactly. And I have no doubt it's a part, you know, that's the experience of every viewer, every staff member. It doesn't matter what they're here for, player, manager, or whatever. You come, and yes, there's all the pageantry. You have the secret shop and all the items, which everyone loves, and all this stuff, but there's always that moment where it's like, this is real. And more to the, you know, I'm here.
You just want to press pause or something.
Exactly. You just want to freeze time and just drink it in. But that's part of the electricity too. You know it's going to come and it's going to go. It'll be back again next year. But still, this is your moment and this is your time to enjoy it.
Guys, and if you're missing this, I really recommend. I'm going to be working with this guy to go ahead and get Indian Dota big. And I want, this is the kind of promise I want to go ahead and do. I want to share this with my fellow Indians. 2, maybe 3 years, we want a team in here. Like, I swear. We can get it. Yeah, it'll be so much fun. I think that's kind of I'd said 3 questions, but I'm going to add one more. Sure. Do you think that this is a world stage is very important? It's not just Ukraine or America or where, I'm not dissing at other sports, but it's not the World Series, right? So it is literally, we're saying China, Orange Esports, Malaysia, then you have Germany, then you have Sweden, then you have America, then you have Argentina with Bruno there.
Right,
like,
exactly.
So it is the world.
Absolutely. Well, even just the change from last year to this year. Last year, let's be honest, it was the Chinese came in and dominated. Not this year. No. This year you have Team Liquid knocking teams out, knocking out the 3rd place finishers from last year. That's a North American squad. And coming in, it was like, well, the West might be better, and it turns out the West has turned out to be much, much better this year. But the North Americans were just like, maybe they'll make some noise in the front half of the bracket, then they'll be bounced. No, sir. I mean, the fact that it is developing everywhere right now. And the Chinese, again, if anyone's underperformed, it's been the Asians, which is a complete reversal of expectations. And like, you're exactly right. There is no more international sport than Dota. There just simply is not. And even though there's not, there's a Malaysian team here in Orange, even though there's not an Indian team right now, it doesn't mean that 365 days from right now, there could not be some team of talented, passionate individuals who are taking the stage and with me sitting there casting it. That's something I think we all want. That's right. I want to see it. That's my challenge to you, Indians. Because by the way, I really can't wait to visit India. So just throwing that out there.
Don't worry about it.
I can't wait.
We just decided, secret announcement right now, he's coming.
But no, that is so much the appeal of Dota. There is no closed community when it comes to Dota. Dota, like anything else, has its ups and its downs, but one thing that we do have is a truly global connection. Gamers love Dota, and Dota loves gamers, and we can all come together for something like this. And I can't wait to see, like you said, the development of South America, the development of India, of the rest of Asia.
We're scared of Korea.
Exactly, everyone. How can you not? But it's coming, and we get to ride that wave, and I'm just so proud to be a part of it.
I think so too, man. So moving on to probably one of the last 2 questions. I always like putting people on the spot, so here you're on the spot.
You got it.
Fantasy team.
Fantasy team.
You can choose any player from history, whatever, who you think should be in the team.
Okay.
Then you can give them any character. So this is not captain's mode. This is all pick.
Wow.
So choose your fantasy roster.
I need a notepad, dude. Like I need to scratch
so let's start.
it. Right.
Let's start. Let's say mid solo.
Mid solo, right now. It's got to be Dindy, man. I mean, seriously, how can it not be? And you know what? He's on Pudge. Yeah. Dindy's on Pudge. That's happening.
Guys,
it's okay. A little bit of a shake. We're good.
Shake. That's okay. We kind of
just right. Exactly. See, they're so enthusiastic to get out there. They just brush by the camera. But
Dindy on Pudge.
Yep. That's what we're doing. And if we're going to have Dindy on Pudge, we have to have a Chen because we want fountain hooks. Yeah. We're just doing that. So we're going to take 2 from Na'Vi, Puppy on Chen. Then we're going to need a carry player. Sorry, Vost, love you, buddy, but we're sticking with 2 Na'Vi. We're going to rock Loda, and we're putting Loda on... We're going to put Loda on Alchemist just because he did so well. Right now, Loda is just tearing people apart on Alchemist. So we're going to that puts Chen in the jungle. That means we're running a defensive tri-lane. We need another lane support. My off lane is Admiral Bulldog on the Lone Druid because you're a moron if you don't give that answer. That's what's happening. So now we're just looking for one more support. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to, give a shout out. It's like I may as well just make it another Alliance player. But no, we're going to back it off. We're going to going with Long DD. There's a name some may know, some may not. I was a fanboy when I first got into Dota. We're going long DD, so we've got our Chim, we've got our Pudge, and this is a horrible team, by the way. Just so you know, I'm drafting for what I want to see. This is a horrible team, but long DD, lane support Windrunner, because I'm crazy that way. That's what we're doing, because the best performance, the best lane support Windrunner I ever saw was long DD in like the second tournament I ever casted, which was Monthly Madness Asia. So horrible team, they would get stomped, but that's my team, and that's what it is.
We're going to try it out, okay? We're going to try it out. This is us Indians because we can do anything we want. What we're going to try it out is, guys, volunteer to go ahead and make a team, he said. Mm-hmm. Okay? And we're going to play all the characters, and we'll go ahead and call it Team AC.
Oh, wow.
Okay?
Don't put my name on that. It's such a bad composition.
No. We're just doing this fantasy teams, right? And then we'll get another team. We've got Shiver. You've seen her video. If you've not, you should go ahead and check it out. We've got Bruno. You can check his video out. So go ahead and make these teams, and we'll kind of do a fantasy, game. And it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter.
Tweet it at me.
Yeah.
Tweet it at me. I'll retweet it all day long. Team AC, Fountain Hooks. If it's not Fountain Hooks, it's not my team. That's it.
So, great. You actually brought me into this question, and it's kind of back to the serious part of this. What's your take on the controversy? So many people say, oh, that's illegal. And there's so many people say, hey, the devs left it in. What's the problem?
What it comes down to is I get both sides of it. A lot of professional players feel like it's intentional abuse of a bug that is intentional abuse of a bug that is in many ways overpowered. It's extremely defensive. And, that's really what happened. I'm not going to recap that whole match. Basically 2 hooks changed the game. Yeah. And I can understand why people think it's broken, but the truth of the matter is it's been in the game for a while. It's not like this is something that was patched in and is new. And the devs, they've known about it. I mean, hell, there are a million Fountain Hook videos. If it was such a big problem where they thought it was going to be a competitive problem, and I'm not saying it's not a competitive problem. We can see already there might be something that needs tweaked here at the very least, if not completely removed. But it's in the game, and you can't possibly...
But it's one of the most impossible things to do, right?
Yeah, it's very difficult.
Yeah. It's not like, it's like press a button and it'll happen, right?
Right.
So,
no, exactly. It takes a lot of coordination, and it's the kind of thing like if Na'Vi practiced that, I don't know if they did. I did ask them, but they just kind of said, well, once in a while, they do it playing around. It's not like they dedicated time to it. But it's in the game. And there are 100 mechanics in Dota that started out as abuse. In fact, denial of creeps at one time was considered abuse whenever it first came in. And it's just a relic of the engine that somehow became a part of the game. So
stacking.
Exactly. Everything about it. At some point you can say, well, that's abuse. But once the game begins to adapt around it, it just becomes a part of the game. So far as this, I understand both sides. You can't fault Na'Vi for using it.
I think it's very ballsy. I personally think it was very ballsy to go ahead and put it up in a game which is, it's the finals, it's game 3, and they go like...
Yeah, exactly. Just to take that kind of a chance on a big stage, that alone deserves respect. But yeah, you can't fault Na'Vi. I can understand people thinking it needs to be taken out, but any hostility at Na'Vi to me is nonsense, to be blunt. It's like they played within the confines of the game. They played within the rules, and they won. Does it need to be patched? Probably, to be honest. It's something that does need at least tweaked, if not removed, but it hasn't been yet. So has Na'Vi done anything wrong? Absolutely not.
Okay, so this brings me to the last question, and I promise this is the last one. Every one of us is a fanboy. I was a fanboy for you. You might be a fanboy for something. Do you, if in this Dota universe, would you go like, that I want to be part? And I saw Bruno being went to Anne and said, because she's done voice acting and she's from, so are you a fanboy of something?
I'm a fanboy, honest to goodness. The only time I've been starstruck here was when I met Gabe. Meeting Gabe Newell, it's one of the, I talk for a living, and I honestly was grasping for words. I'm all shy. He's like, hi, Mr. Newell, I'm doing that number. That starstruck me. I met some of the voice actors, but I haven't done voice acting like that, but I've worked in studios and around them so much, I just felt comfortable with them because we have a lot in common. There were things I could talk about with them. Gabe is a literal icon. Yeah, exactly. Just this number. But starstruck there. To be honest, this is going to sound cheesy, but it's so true. In the last 365 days, last year, TI2 to now, my life changed completely, changed irreparably because of Dota. I'm a fanboy for the fans. I really am. Every time someone comes up to me and says they want an autograph or, they come up and they get nervous around me, that just shocks me because I can never give back to them what they've given to me. All I can do is go on a stage and hope I can entertain them. But my life, I went from casting out of a bedroom in southern West Virginia to now living and working in San Francisco in esports full time. That wasn't me. That was the fans. That was what they gave to me. So when it comes down to it, I just want to meet as many people as I can. And I hope if any of you, when I'm in India or anywhere else, please come say hello, because I want to shake their hand. I want to thank them for what they've done for me.
Bro, I don't have anything else to say except give you a hug.
Thank you so much.
This is so good. Guys, this is Lord Nod and this is Ayesee. We're all on awestruck and he's the man. He's going to be seeing you in India. This is Lord Nod signing off.